Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you've never been here before. My name is Dawn and this is Dawn Does Life, and today I wanted to talk about metal tips, multi-placer tips, metal multi-placer tips. There are so many options when it comes to diamond painting and laying your drills on your canvas. It ranges from just even the pink pens that come with the kits to single placers, multi-placers, plastic tips. There are just so many. Some people use tweezers. They lay their drills with tweezers. I recently got my hands on some metal tips and I just kind of wanted to go over some of the differences I found with the two. There's two different companies. One was from Etsy and one was sent to me by a company called Diamart Painting to try out. So, gonna go over all of that today, and if that sounds interesting, then let's just get into the good stuff. All right, so like I said, there are so many different kinds of tips. Generally, let's just see if I've got to have a pink pen here. When you get a diamond painting, you get your basic kit. Pretty much every diamond painting, in fact, I don't know of any diamond painting that doesn't come with some type of a kit, and this is likely what you're going to get. And inside are these pink pens. And they could be pink, they could be blue, they could be purple, I don't know. White, I've seen white. But they have a metal brass tip on the end of them. Actually, I have one here too. And the thing with the brass is it's a softer metal, and so eventually they wear down and they can become not round anymore, especially if you're a hard presser or if you're moving your drills, you can break these down. Not only that, but you'll put your wax in the end here and it'll eventually end up in this little clear part here. You can see I've got some sticky tack in there. I haven't used sticky tack for a long time, so at least not the blue kind. That's how long this has been on here. That's what you normally would start with, is just a single tip brass multi-placer, or a single placer, sorry. And then once you get into the multi-placers, you can accumulate. I know Diamond Art Club sends an extra 4-placer with all of their diamond paintings. You can purchase sets of plastic tips that range in size. I think the largest I've ever done was 10. I'm not sure if they're bigger. They can get bigger than that. I think they can. I think I've heard that. The problem with plastic tips is that eventually they wear down, and I have one on here, and I don't know if you'll actually be able to see, but they end up getting ridges in them. And then the ends will get the plastic will kind of break down on them, and eventually you'll end up having to throw it away, just like you will with the brass tip. You'll have to replace that at some point. But they're good, they work. There are skinny tips. I also actually have some of the older fat tips too, and they're like, that one would be one right there. But eventually they wear out, and eventually you have to throw them out. My first foray into metal tips was from a company called Cateared on Amazon, and that is this tip here. It's just a one-piece tip. So if you compare that to, say, that, so this has got a metal butt in the end that goes into this plastic tip, whereas this one is all one. I love this tip. This is my very first metal tip, was these kind. I really like them. Some of the pros to them is that the well that the wax fits into is shorter, and I have had situations where my wax or my sticky tack or gem tack or whatever it is I'm using will pop out, but they feel good. They are sturdy. I'm a hard placer, and so I don't feel like I'm wearing them down, and they don't wear down. I've done several diamond paintings with this now, and it looks, other than the fact that it's got some wax residue on the outside, it looks exactly like it did when I put it on the pen. So the first ones I got, the first tips that I got, were from a company called Diamart Painting. And I'm just going to move these out of the way. And they sent me 13 tips to try out. And so I'm just going to actually put them all out here. So these ones range from 2 to 10. I think this is, oh, that's a 3. Where's the 2? There's the 2. So that is what that tip looks like. And then of course, there's your end. And that one would be the 10. So I haven't really tried a lot of the different sizes. This one also came with an angled pen tip that was metal. I've never used an angled tip, but some people think they're awesome. It also came with one square one square all-in-one single placer and one round all-in-one multi-placer. So I've never tried the square one. I haven't worked on a square painting to try it yet, but I am looking forward to trying that out and seeing what that's like. I can place squares with a round tip, but I am interested to see if there is a difference in the placement with the square. So that's what came in this kit, and this was my very first thing that I tried, and that would be on this pen here. And one of the things you can see, I've got wax in there. I don't know if you can see it. One of the things I found with this, I used it and I enjoyed it very, very much, and I still do. But what I did find with the metal tip is that sometimes when you're picking up the diamonds, so this is a 6. I almost feel like if I want to pick up 6 diamonds, I should actually have a tip that is 7. Because if you don't hit your diamonds just right, oh, actually my wax has probably dried out because I haven't used it for a while, but if you don't pick them up just right, they kind of slide around. Then you'll pop one and then you'll try to get it on, and it can be a bit of a pain in the butt. They do sit on there fairly nicely, but they do sit on there differently than a wax pen, I find, or it feels different. Maybe I got a piece of hair in there. Maybe I'm just getting used to it, but I do find that the drills will slide across the bar. It's skinny enough that they don't quite fit in there the same way that a plastic skinny tip would fit in there. So I enjoy using it. I can place hard, I can move my drills, but I do find that the drills will slide on there. And if you don't pick them up, like I said, if you don't pick them up just right, you won't get 6 on there without a fight. And because it's so thin also, sometimes your beads will fall off for no reason. And by beads, I mean drills. But usable, and I do enjoy it. But that was something I noticed with that. I also noticed too, and I'm going to try and get up really close here. Hopefully you can see that. Come on. Focus. Focus. There we go. So I don't know if you can see that, but right on the very edges here, it's a little bit rounded. So when you're placing drills into a tight space, that tiny bit of roundness can make the difference into or to a proper placement. Sometimes your drills will sit a little further back than you want them to, and then you'll have to go in and physically move each one again. So that was the one thing I noticed with that. Now on the thick plastic placers, they're way worse than this. And that was part of the reason that I switched from the regular plastic multi-placer tips to the skinny ones, because the skinny ones just get right in there, whereas the rounded ones, sometimes it's harder to fit them in. So there is a little tiny bit of that on this one. And now this is the second company, and this one, these tips I paid for. So it came with this single placer, which is an all-in-one, but it's a little bit different. It looks a little more like a plastic tip, or sorry, the plastic pen tips. It has that same shape, but it is just an all-in-one. And I don't believe that, oh, I can't get this out now. I don't believe that the wax can go all the way in, like on this one, or this one, where you can see the wax has, or the sticky tack has leaked through to the plastic casing. I believe there is a bottom to this so that the wax will sit in there, but I think it might be a little bit deeper. The one thing is that so far as the single tip is concerned, it's quite a bit longer than the cat-eared one. So I'm not quite used to it. I've used it just a very small amount to try it out. It works wonderfully. But I'm a little not used to the length of it. But it came with that single placer, it came with this 6-placer, and it came with this, I think it's a 4-placer. Yes, 4, 6, and a 1. And these ones, they're a little bit different shaped than the other ones. Let me just see here. They look very similar in their construction. Sorry, I'm just looking at them. They look similar in their construction, but what I've noticed is right on the end, I'll do it on this one, on the 6-placer. Right on the end, the edge of it is just slightly thinner, and the side walls seemed slightly thinner. So the well is just the like most micro amount wider, and it does seem, oh geez. Oops. So what I've noticed in the short amount of time that I have used this is that it does seem to pick up the drills a little nicer. And the drills don't slide around quite as much. They still will a little bit, but they just seem to sit in here a little nicer. And they lay a little tighter when you're trying to fit them into a section. I don't know. It is so micro. Like, I've stared at this and stared at this and stared at this. I don't know if you guys can even see the difference. Like, it just is a slight amount. Like, when I look at it sideways, I don't know if you can see that. No, it's not going to show up on the camera the same way. It's just not, but it is just slightly wider. And yet the walls on the sides seem a little bit thinner, and around the ends seems a little bit thinner. So of the two, I actually prefer the ones I got off of Etsy. And where I got these off of Etsy was the store name was TinaCaviel, and I will link both Dime Art Painting and TinaCaviel down in my description. They're not affiliate links, just so you know where you can go and look at them. They're very similar. It's just this one is just a slight bit better. And this one now, so these tips came with 13, and it also included a metal straightener, which I appreciate and I do use. But this one, I believe it was $18 Canadian for, oops, sorry, not this, but these ones was $18 Canadian for the 13 pieces. And this one with, which tip is it? Uh-oh, did I put it in here? Oh no, it's on here. So this one with the 4, 6, and the single placer, this one was about $40 Canadian with free shipping. So that was, I actually paid $40 for that, although I'm sure that they include shipping into their costs. So this one was 20, this one, and I don't know what the shipping would have been. This one was 40. So they're very, like I said, very similar. I would say between this and this, I prefer the cat-eared, and I believe the cat-eared, I can't even remember what I paid. I've had these for a while now, but I got a package of 6, I think, and it was around $20 Canadian. So I'm telling you Canadian so that you can kind of do the conversion. And actually that doesn't even mean, I got this one off of Amazon, and Amazon is like a beast unto itself. Whatever we pay in Canada, it might not even translate into American. Sometimes American prices are just cheaper altogether. So I remember thinking this was very reasonable and I could put this in all of my pens. Again, this one, I've only just got the one, and the jury's still out on how I feel about this one. Overall, with the 4 and the 6, which the 4 and the 6 are the two tips that I would use the most, which is why I picked this set. I do like these ones slightly better. And it's just, like I said, it's so minute, but it does make a difference. in how they pick up. I don't feel like on this one, I don't feel like I should be using a 7 tip to pick up 6. Whereas on this one, if you don't hit those drills just right, you'll get 5. 5 fits comfortably on here, no problem. 6 sometimes can be a bit of a workout, a mental workout just to get them on. So that's my observations with them. I will still use them. I'll still use this one, and I'll still, I mean, I've worked with it and I've kind of figured it out a bit. But there are several tips in here. I will use the straightener. I don't know if I'll use the angled one. I'll use the single tips because they look identical to my cat-eared tips. And I will definitely try the square one. And if I need a bigger one, if I need a 10, you know, I guess I'll try it. I'm not quite ready for a 10, I don't think. I did try a 10 before, and I don't know, I felt like I was a little out of control. But the nice thing is that both of them came with the extra silicone grips, which I appreciate. This one did too. And the one thing about the TinaCaviel, the card that came said R and me. But it came with a little tool to kind of fit them on. And honestly, sometimes those little rings can be a pain in the butt to get on. But they do make it fit into the pen much nicer. So I appreciate that they sent that. So pros of the metal tip. I am a hard placer. Like I said, I like to just, especially single placing, but even with my multi-placing, I can place quite hard. And I do not feel this is going to last me a long time. It's not going to break down. I'm not going to have to wear it out. The pros with this one is that it came with 13. The price seemed to be a little bit cheaper, and there were rings already installed on it as well. It also comes with the numbers on each of the tips. So you know, I don't know if you can see that. You know what you're putting on your pen. With this one, if somebody just handed this to me, I'd have to pick up drills to figure it out. And not that that's a hard thing to do, but there are no numbers. I do like seeing the numbers on them myself, just so I can look at a glance and see what it is I'm using. Cons of this one are that the ends are a little bit more rounded, and it's just that the base, the well that the wax sits in, is a little thinner, and the drills seem to slide back and forth. So I do feel like sizing wise, they should have made them just a tad bit longer for each of the sizes. The pros with the Etsy tips is that it came with the tool to put them on, but they didn't come with the rings already on. I had to put them on. And as I said, they are a bit of a pain in the butt. There's not a lot of cons to this one so far as, again, just the number not being on them. I'm not sure how I feel about the length of this tip, but I will practice with it a little bit more. I do feel like they're sized appropriately. The well is just slightly wider, and the drills don't slide around on it. I don't feel like I have to be as precise about picking up a row of drills to get them to fit on here properly. I feel like it's just an easier, less thought to it kind of process. So, but overall, I mean, over the plastic tips, I mean, there is nothing wrong with the plastic tips. There's nothing wrong with any way that somebody wants to diamond paint. If you like using the pink pen and you like using a single placer, then you go and you do you. I was hardcore into, I had the mind frame that if I was going to put my time and effort into this hobby, I was only going to use the single placer because I wanted the satisfaction of placing each drill one by one, and just it meant to me something different than it does now. Like I was working hard at it, and every single piece on there was placed precisely by me. I don't have that feeling anymore, and I feel just as strongly about the effort I put into multi-placing as I do single placing now. And so I've kind of moved on from that. But I would never use the thicker multi-placers. These I would use. It's just unfortunate that they break down as quickly as they do. And honestly, within one painting, I'm starting to notice the ridges. Doesn't mean I can't use it for the whole painting, and it doesn't mean I can't use it for more than one painting, but it does make it a little more messy, and then the drills don't pick up quite as straight. Sometimes the wax will seep out in different ways. It's a little bit more messy. So that's been my experience with using both of these metal tips. I find my wax seeping out on the sides to be very, very small. Usually I just have to wipe it once. Sometimes with these, once they start to break down, it's like every couple times you place, you're having to kind of move things around. I'm really happy that I've had the chance to try these. Who else is this product good for? When we're all starting out, we're generally just starting out with a basic kit and our basic toolkit and, you know, the basic boat, the basic wax, and we're happy. And this is what we have when we decide whether or not this is going to be something that we put a lot more time and energy into. We all have this journey that we go through on what it is we like and don't like, and that comes to the boats, the placers, the pens, everything. If you are a serious diamond painter and you like to spend your spare time diamond painting, and that is your hobby and that is your passion, then I absolutely would recommend trying out a metal tip. A metal tip is a good place to start. A metal single tip is a good place to start, and then possibly trying just a couple sizes that you know that you would like on the multi-placers. Or if you're able to find a really economical way to get a bunch of metal tips, go for that and try it all out. But I can tell you that I now that I have metal tips, I wouldn't want to go back to a plastic tip. Like I said at the beginning, there are so many ways to place your drills on the canvas. There is no right or wrong way. There's just the way that works for you. That's what's so great about this hobby, is that there are a ton of different ways to do it. And everybody kind of, I've graduated from feeling one way to another way. And so I fully expect that a lot of people probably change the things that they like and how they like to achieve a finished painting. They are nice. Metal tips are super, super nice. And I like them, and I like that I have them, and I am so glad I've tried them. But if you'd like to embellish, then these are some things that might make it a little bit more enjoyable for you. And so there you have it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful post-Christmas week, pre-New Year week. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for 2022. I said that last year too, but this world just has not been finished with all the craziness and just totally messing with our brains. So I'm ready for there to be a new year. Take care, have tons of fun, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye!